Okay, folks. So I wanted to expand on the State of for Restoration Shaman video I made now that I've had a chance to play at 120 and do Mythics and World Quests and all of that. Not to mention getting a little better geared. There were some things I felt were worth a mention. The first thing is with the talents. These are the talents that I have used for all the mythics I've done. In the State of video, I talked about Echo of Elements versus Earth Shield. And this was the conclusion I came to. Earth Shield is fine. However, with the stat squish, I feel like it doesn't work as well as it could. Meaning, I was noticing the tank was just using up the charges too quickly. And I just overall wasn't doing as well as I would have liked. The other thing is the entire time I leveled, I kept thinking that Riptide had more than one charge. Now I have 3 charges here because of my PvP talent. Otherwise, I would have 2 charges. And that may not sound like a lot. That's a lot of AoE having 2. Because you can have them on multiple targets. You just only have 2 charges at a time. So the way that I kind of, the conclusion that I came to in my mind to kind of sum this up, if you will, is Earth Shield is more of a single target focused playstyle. Echo of Elements is more of an AoE focused playstyle. With Earth Shield, you're applying it to the tank. You're usually applying Riptide. And then you're waiting for Riptide to come off cooldown, so you're either spamming Chain Heal or you kind of have to keep going back to the tank while trying to AoE heal the group or I suppose in certain situations direct healing and things like that. It's not a very flexible playstyle. With Echo of Elements, you can put Riptide on a couple players, a couple people, and then go back and either single target or AoE heal. You have a little more flexibility. You're healing the tank as you would heal everybody else in the group, which actually does make quite a bit of difference. As I said, these are the talents I've used for Mythics. I've had no trouble. I've had no complaints. So the main thing is just finding a tank that knows what they're doing for Mythics. Knows how to play their I won't even say class, just play their spec. You do work a little more with Echo of Elements than Earth Shield. Again, Earth Shield's not bad. I just feel like it's not. I used it the entire time leveling, and a little bit after I reached 120, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't doing as well as I would have liked. So, I wanted to reinforce, I guess, and expand on something I said about stats for Restoration Shaman. I said that I noticed as long as my mastery was above 50%, I had an easier time healing. If it fell below 50%, which it did at one point as I was leveling, it seemed like I had a harder time healing. And I definitely think that's still true. I would expand on that by saying, I would suggest keeping your mastery above or greater than 50%, and then focusing on critical strike. I've had critical strike from just gear as a stat. I've had it on some Azurite armor pieces as the kind of the utility, the effect on them. And every time I've had an increase in critical strike, I seem to do better healing. So, mastery at least above 50% or higher, and then focus on your critical strike. Don't really know that it matters. Critical strike is a bit of a random stat. So, haste doesn't really seem to make a difference. Versatility leech doesn't really seem to make a difference. With haste, generally speaking, I notice as long as you have around 5% or higher, you'll usually do fine. If I have below 5%, just across the board on any character, I find myself feeling like I'm a little sluggish. So 9% I think is fine. And versatility in leech, I only have leech because a couple items upgraded and they ended up with leech. Versatility just happened to be the stat on a couple pieces, and I really, like I said, some characters I noticed a big difference with versatility, others less so. This is one less so. The last thing I wanted to mention, because it kind of happened just out of, I guess, RNG or just kind of on its own, were my trinkets. I found a worthwhile combination of trinkets, at least for Restoration Shaman, that are both good for healing and DPS. So probably the most worthwhile of the two is Revitalizing Voodoo Totem, which heals a target for X amount every 0.5 seconds, stacking up 13 times. So this can be used either as a self-heal for DPS, which is nice, or kind of as an emergency heal as a healer. I will use this on the tank. I've used this on the entire group, including myself, depending on the fight and the dungeon and the situation, basically. However, I tend to use it on the tank as kind of an emergency heal, and it works really well. You kind of look at it, and you think, I'm not sure how this is. I was kind of on the fence when I first got it. It has really proven its worth, though. I'm hoping to get the mythic version of this. I've really been reluctant to replace my trinkets. The second one, Ignition Mage's Fuse. Ignite the fuse, granting haste. Every 4 seconds, haste is removed after 20 seconds. Now, I did just say that haste doesn't seem to make a difference, and overall, generally speaking, it doesn't. However, when I was leveling, before I got 100k mana, I was having mana issues pretty bad. I was using about 1/4 my mana, if not all my mana, and I swapped out Healing Surge for Healing Wave, and that seemed to all but completely take care of my mana issues. And then, of course, once I reached 120, my mana increased to 100k, and I really haven't had any issues with it. Healing Wave does heal for a little more than Healing Surge. I was only using Healing Surge because it had a shorter cast time. You can, however, with dungeons having so much trash right now, excessively so, some you would be justified in saying have too much. I find myself spamming a single target heal, either on the tank or on the group or what have you. So I will generally use this in combination with Healing Wave, which works well with Unleash Life. I took Unleash Life and Earthshield just because those were what I was familiar with using, and I thought, oh well, Unleash Life, of course, Earthshield. I thought these were kind of the default things to take. Unleash Life, I would definitely say is it has proven its value over and over again. So yeah, just on those trash fights where you do need to kind of, this is a situational trinket, I would say. And it only has a 2-minute cooldown. So I will generally use Revitalizing Totem first. And then on, as I said, on trash fights, if you just need a little bit of burst healing, if for whatever reason something's on cooldown or I just don't think it's going to be enough, Healing Wave does have a slower cast time. However, it's worthwhile when you can use this a couple times. The healing for over 10k is not, with where our stats are right now, is not nothing. So that's, yeah. So there you go. These work really well together, and they work well for healing, for DPS. Now that I've gotten a little better gear for restoration, I've been doing more DPS as elemental. And it's nice not to have to worry about swapping out my trinkets because they have healing, healing effects on them or something like that. So yeah, so there you go. So like I said, just wanted to make kind of just wanted to add to what I said in the state of video for Restoration Shaman. So I hope you found that helpful, and thank you for watching.